Whitmore had built her life brick by brick, without a single favor from fortune. She grew up in a small apartment above her mother's tailoring shop in Ohio, learning early that nothing comes free, not respect, not love, not even a warm meal on a cold night. When she moved to New York at 22 with nothing but 2 suitcases and a stubborn hope, she never imagined she'd one day stand in the marble hallway of the Calloway estate, wearing a ring that cost more than her mother had earned in a lifetime. Daniel Calloway was everything the tabloids said he was: sharp, composed, and impossibly wealthy. But to Eleanor, he was simply the man who listened to her talk about her dreams without once looking at his watch. Their engagement had been quiet, almost private, because Daniel wanted it that way. He said the world took enough from him already. He didn't want it taking this too. But peace, as Eleanor would learn, rarely lasts long in houses built on money and old family pride. It happened on a Sunday afternoon, sunlight spilling through the tall windows of the Calloway mansion. Daniel's mother, Margaret, a woman who wore disapproval like perfume, was descending the grand staircase when she lost her footing. She fell hard, her cane clattering across the marble floor, her cry echoing through the halls. Eleanor was the only one standing near her at the top of the stairs. By the time the ambulance arrived, whispers had already begun to spread through the house like wildfire. The housekeeper swore she saw Eleanor's hand near Margaret's back. The family lawyer, who had never liked Eleanor from the start, didn't hesitate to plant doubt in Daniel's ear. Within hours, what should have been a tragic accident had become an accusation. Eleanor, poor, unfamiliar, an outsider in a world of inherited privilege, was the perfect target. She wanted the money, people murmured. She probably pushed her. The words spread faster than truth ever could. Daniel, torn between loyalty to his mother and love for his fiancée, chose caution over trust. He asked Eleanor to leave the house until things were sorted out. She left with nothing but her coat and her breaking heart, staying in a cheap motel by the highway, staring at the ceiling each night, wondering how her whole life could unravel over something she never did. The story leaked to the press. Reporters camped outside the motel, flashing cameras, shouting cruel questions. Did you push her for the inheritance? Were you after his money all along? Every headline painted her as a gold digger, a manipulator, a monster hiding behind a sweet smile. Eleanor stopped answering her phone. She stopped watching the news. She simply existed, waiting for the storm to either destroy her or pass. Meanwhile, in the Calloway mansion, one woman refused to stay silent. Her name was Rosa Delgado, the family's housekeeper for over 11 years. She had watched Eleanor from the very first day she stepped into that house. Watched how she said thank you to the staff when no one else did. How she remembered Rosa's daughter's birthday. How she once stayed up all night helping Rosa fill out a citizenship form because the woman was too afraid to ask anyone else. Rosa knew Eleanor's heart in a way none of the Calloways ever bothered to. When Margaret fell, Rosa had been in the hallway below, arranging flowers near the staircase. She saw everything. The way Margaret's cane had caught on the edge of a loose rug, the way her ankle twisted before she even reached Eleanor, the way Eleanor had reached forward not to push, but to catch her before she hit the ground. But fear had silenced Rosa in the chaos of that day. She was undocumented, vulnerable, easily replaceable. If she spoke up and the family didn't believe her, she risked losing everything: her job, her home, maybe even her safety in this country. For days she battled with herself, watching the news paint an innocent woman as a criminal, knowing the truth could clear her name. One night, unable to sleep, Rosa sat at her small kitchen table, staring at a faded photograph of Eleanor helping her daughter with homework. She thought about her own daughter, growing up watching her mother stay silent out of fear. What kind of lesson was that to leave behind? The next morning, Rosa walked into the police station, hands trembling, heart pounding, and she told the truth. She described the rug. She described Margaret's cane. She described Eleanor's hands reaching out to protect, not harm. She even mentioned the security camera in the hallway that everyone had forgotten to check, evidence that could confirm every word she said. When investigators pulled the footage, it confirmed Rosa's account in painful clarity. Eleanor lunging forward to catch a falling woman, not push her. The truth spread just as fast as the lie once had. Except this time it wasn't cruel. It was justice. Daniel arrived at the motel that evening, drenched from the rain, his eyes red from sleepless nights of guilt. He didn't say much, just stood at the door, holding a folder with the police report inside, his hands shaking as he handed it to her. "I should have believed you," he said. "I let fear win over love. I'm sorry." Eleanor didn't answer right away. The pain of being called a monster, of being abandoned when she needed him most, wasn't something that could be erased with a single apology. She took the folder, read through it slowly, feeling the weight finally lift off her chest. "You didn't just doubt me," she finally said. "You let the whole world tear me apart while you stayed silent." Daniel nodded, accepting every bit of blame. "I know, I don't expect forgiveness right away. But I needed you to know the truth came out. And it came out because someone believed in you when the rest of us failed to." Rosa's testimony didn't just clear Eleanor's name, it changed her life too. The Calloway family, humbled and grateful, helped her secure legal residency, something she had feared to even dream of. For the first time, Rosa didn't have to live in the shadows of fear. As for Eleanor and Daniel, their story didn't end in a fairy tale reunion. Trust once broken doesn't rebuild overnight. Eleanor moved back to Ohio for a while, needing distance to heal from a wound deeper than public humiliation. The wound of being doubted by the person who was supposed to protect her most. Months passed. Letters were exchanged. Slow, quiet conversations replaced grand gestures. Daniel visited her mother's old tailoring shop one afternoon, sitting quietly as Eleanor mended a customer's coat, watching her hands move with the same grace and patience that had first drawn him to her. "I'm not asking you to forget," he said softly. "I'm asking if there's still room for me to earn my way back." Eleanor looked at him for a long moment, the anger inside her finally settling into something calmer. Not forgiveness. Not yet, but the possibility of it. "Maybe," she said. "But this time you'll have to prove it. Not with money. Not with apologies, but with time." And so their story didn't end with wedding bells or dramatic reconciliation. It ended with something more real. Two people choosing to rebuild, slowly, honestly, one day at a time, somewhere in that quiet tailoring shop. Amid the hum of sewing machines and the smell of fresh fabric, hope found its way back. Not loud, not perfect, but true.